Welcome folks, this is Wear and Tear, yet another YouTube author and gear review channel. Those of you who follow the channel for a little while might know that at times I talk about emergency preparedness. I have done a few videos on that, like emergency backpack and stuff like that. It's not an extensive part of my channel, but you know, if you're interested in knives and flashlights and stuff like that, you probably have your mind at least a little bit on emergency preparedness. So what I want to talk today is about emergency preparedness in relation to, well, what kind of stuff do you need to have or should you have in your vehicle? The idea for this video just came to me yesterday, and I had no time to prepare my vehicle. I just have the standard equipment in here that I have in here since about a year. So we'll see how I perform in terms of emergency preparedness in my vehicle. And maybe you want to post ideas in the comment section down below. Now, generally, once we traveled to a German airport alongside the Danube, and this was the time there was a great flooding, and like 10 minutes ahead of us the dam broke and people got stuck with their cars in the water. There was no way for them to save their cars. The only thing that they could do is really grab the gear in the vehicle and try to escape and survive for the next few hours until the emergency services would be ready to help them. They definitely had to leave their vehicle because the water was coming in, and a lot of hundreds of thousands of vehicles got wrecked on the autobahn, on the highway. So this would be a typical emergency situation due to flooding. Something else that happens in Austria is, well, the snow, the worse weather can get you stuck on the road quite easily, even though we're in Europe here. So it's definitely a good idea to think about how to prep your vehicle so that it helps you survive, because when an emergency strikes, it's very likely that it strikes while you're driving, and not just at home where you have all your good gear and all your equipment, or even in a hiking backpack or something like that. So that's why I want to talk about emergency preparedness today a little bit, with a relationship to vehicles, and I'll show you my vehicle. I'll show you the stuff that I have in my vehicle. So let's see how I perform. So let's of course start in the cockpit. Here we have a little flashlight that does multi-colors. Red light can be very useful if you have to look for something inside the car while you're driving. We have a little knife here. It's basically a rescue knife, the Harns Conch. I like that one a lot. So here's a glass breaker, and here's the belt cutter. So this knife is always handy. In Germany that would not be allowed, just to mention that. Now this is my wife's Mrs. Wear and Tear's compartment. Basically, we won't open it, but it has a lot of goodies inside, a lot of snacks, and maybe even some alcohol. Who knows? Anyways, yeah, water is very important. I have water bottles everywhere in the car. I go with the 0.5 liter water bottles. They're just more handy. So on the back, yeah, handkerchiefs. On the back here we have a backpack. This backpack is very compact. It also doubles as a pillow. We have an emergency whistle with a compass, and I think some matches and stuff are inside. Of course we have a warning, a yellow jacket here that is prescribed by the law also, and it comes with a matching hat, and it also comes with a little signal light, a blinky light. You see two more water bottles here in the door. Underneath, this is like a sleeping bag, very basic sleeping bag. And underneath here, let's see. Underneath here, we should have an emergency blanket. So in case you get stuck in low temperatures or have to spend the night somewhere, in case the lady gets cold, that happens more often, you at least have a blanket in the car. And this is a good type of blanket. It was given to me by my subscribers Thomas and Cindy. Thank you very much for that. Now let's check out the trunk. The trunk is a little bit messy. Again, I did not specifically prepare for this video. Well, let's start here. My car has a little bit of an oil guzzler. I need to fix something, but spare oil is definitely a good idea. This is the emergency kit. Again, it is prescribed by the law here in Austria, but you can pimp it a little bit. I have an extra emergency blanket. Of course, you have the warning triangle down there, and I have burn dressings in here. In case I ever get burned, you know, if you do campfire, whatever, you can have a small minor burn, and that might be very helpful. So those burn dressings are not very expensive, and I have them in all of my first aid packs. So this is my little gear pack. So inside this little pouch we have a lot of practical little gear. We have some dextro energy for against low blood sugar, some hot hands. Mrs. Wear and Tear likes those. We have some super glue, some more, you know, dextro energy, a little Swiss Army knife, a USB adapter, so typical camping gear, a lighter, a very nice Scansel multi-tool, spare lithium-ion batteries, a tool where you can remove stuff from the vehicle, a USB charger for lithium ions for the more powerful flashlights that I carry, and a soldering iron. So this is, yeah, this goes in here as well. So underneath here, this is where the good stuff really starts. The emergency preparedness. First of all, we have all the tools that you need to fix the vehicle. Of course, a lot of that is standard in at least in the Nissan Qashqai that I drive. We have some additional tools. We have spare light bulbs, spare electrical parts. They're in between. We have, of course, we have duct tape, because who does not carry duct tape at all times? We have a shovel back here. It's a little emergency shovel. We have a large water jug. We have well, flameless ration heaters in here. We have toilet paper. We have an additional blanket for whatever purpose. These are the electrical parts, like spare fuses, whatever. There's some food in here, some crackers, some more, you know, that is, those are remnants from emergency rations, peanut butter, soups. So this is really just stuff from emergency rations, some more candles, extra matches. So all that little stuff could probably more streamline in here. Yeah, additional water bottles. In total, I should have about 6 liters in the vehicle at all times, but it's probably a little bit less right now. We have a rope. We have some additional emergency rations. Those are the rations for ultra long storage, and some of these include water purifiers. We have some more zip ties down there, some more water bottles I see. Oh yeah, those are some fuses, additional tools, a buck saw, a folding camp saw, very handy. We do have some trash bags in here as well, other little items. Of course, I do have work gloves, protective gloves, Should have protective goggles somewhere. So this is pretty much it for this section. Now there's a big secret in here. So if you look at the trunk, you can't see it, but it's there. Look at this. This is a heavy breaching tool. I've had a review of this on my channel. This is the HX Outdoors Crocodile axe and breaching tool. Also a very practical camping tool. Very potent axe. You can break anything open with that thing. At least I'd hope so. Again, this is the kind of tool that the police in Germany would not appreciate seeing in your vehicle. But here in Austria it shouldn't be a problem, especially if it's stored away. You know, you can't use it quickly when you're really angry on your fellow man, and that should suffice. So this is pretty much it. My little Nissan Qashqai, trusty old vehicle. And well, post in the comments whether you think I'm well prepared for roadside emergency and stuff like that, or whether you have any ideas to improve. Whether you think some of the stuff is totally not necessary. This was Wear and Tear, over and out.